It's not safe to drink the water in Flint, Michigan, a city of nearly 100,000 northwest of Detroit. A plan to save money backfired. And here's Dean Reynolds.
You may know her as Little Miss Flint. Those of you who have seats, please feel free to sit down so folks can see you behind you. If you don't have a seat, don't sit down. And like a lot of you, Murray's been worried about what happened here in Flint.
The entire town of Fairview in Marion County was put under a boil water advisory yesterday afternoon. And the Marion County Health Department has now confirmed that the reason for the advisory was due to positive results of E. coli in the water system. Marion County Health Department agreed it was best to close all Fairview schools until the advisory cleared in order to continue to clean the water until tests are cleared.
We want to make sure that the water is safe as quickly as possible. So we're going to be working throughout the weekend, picking up samples, taking them to the lab. The good thing is our certified lab is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, so we can run the samples. I have everyone's cell phone, so as soon as we get the samples that come back good, then we want to call those folks and let them reopen.
Now, anyone with questions or concerns regarding the boil water advisory may contact the health department for more information. Their number at the bottom of your screen.
74 California water systems are contaminated, according to the EPA. That report says as many as 7.5 million Californians are potentially being exposed to a group of highly toxic fluorinated chemicals called PFAs. Even low doses of PFAs have been linked to an increased risk of cancer, harm to reproductive and immune systems, liver and thyroid disease, and other health problems. Communities served by systems with highest detections of PFAs include Corona, Camp Pendleton, Oroville, Rosemont, and areas of Sacramento.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.
Now to that toxic spill in Colorado. The tainted water spreading quickly. A state of emergency has now been declared in neighboring New Mexico, and public access to rivers is expected to be closed until at least next week. ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Durango, Colorado with the story for us. Good morning, Clayton.
Good morning to you, Robin. They are warning people here to stay out of this water, not to swim in it, not to drink it. It may not look polluted, but let me show you. It's this orange sludge and the toxins in it that has people here worried. This morning, thousands of people who rely on drinking water from two polluted western rivers now told it is toxic.
Avoid showering, drink any type of bodily contact with that water. Don't let their livestock drink it.
This after an EPA cleanup crew accidentally released more than 3 million gallons of toxic sludge last week from this abandoned gold mine in Colorado.
This is our lifeblood.
Governors of Colorado and New Mexico have declared states of emergency. Towns are shutting down pipes that normally take clean river water into people's homes.
Yeah, where I live, it's all basically living off the wells.
The plume turned the normally clear waters into an unnaturally bright yellow after the spill, traveling more than 100 miles from Colorado into New Mexico, now into Utah, headed towards Arizona and the Grand Canyon. The EPA is testing the water, even using fish to monitor the health impact on wildlife. But the agency has been criticized for not providing more information about the long-term health impacts on people. Tests show the water carrying 300 times the safe levels of arsenic and 3,500 times the lead. Now the rivers and the businesses that rely on them are shut down in the middle of peak summer season until at least next week.
95% of my business has been swept away, and we have about 23 employees that are currently out of work.
Everyone here is hoping the level of toxins in this water drops soon. In the meantime, Colorado's governor will be here today to see the damage for himself.
Well, right now in the city of Benton Harbor, residents cannot go to the faucet and get a glass of water. A lead crisis that's slowly been unfolding for years has people relying on bottled water until it can get fixed, and they're waiting in long lines to get that. Today, Governor Whitmer was in Benton Harbor, and so was our consumer investigator Hank Winchester, and Hank is live there. City leaders have declared a state of emergency over this just now, Hank.
They did, Devin, today. That goes into effect. I'll tell you what, walking through this city, talking with the people, it's haunting. It takes me right back to Flint 5 or 6 years ago. This is the thing, everybody in town trying to get their hands on bottled water. We're going to make sure this case gets to a family in need. The people in this community, they want two things. They want help from the state, and they want answers. This is Benton Harbor today. These lines are crazy. I mean,
well, hey, we got to get the water to the people some way or another. Yeah. So this is the right way of how we got it set up.
A city like Flint that was already down on its luck, now dealing with a major lead water crisis.
To replace all lead service lines is a Mount Everest of a job. So it's going to take a all hands on deck whole government approach.
Today, news that an emergency declaration just declared, and the governor making a surprise visit here early this morning after we asked her about the ongoing problems here just yesterday. They've been complaining about the situation for a couple of years. Should more have been done sooner on this problem?
We are delivering water. We're working incredibly hard to replace the pipes.
The water issues first exposed here almost 3 years ago.
Tonight, desperation spilling into the streets of Nuevo Leon, Mexico, as families rush to stock up on water. Some using buckets, others the pots from their kitchen. Anything and everything to collect the last drop.
Ya dejé mi trabajo por venir a juntar agua.
The northern state of Mexico is in one of the worst droughts in over a decade after 2 years of dismal rainfall.
Porque todo se ha desaparecido ya, toda la forma de que ya no llueve, ya no nieva, ya no hace frío, y ahora se está aumentando más el calor.
Nearly the entire region straddling the U.S.-Mexico border is experiencing drought, according to the North American Drought Monitor.
There's a good chance we're going to get another La Nina happening this winter. And so if this does happen, then I would expect that the drought to very likely continue at least through the next spring.
NASA released these images of the Cerro Prieto Reservoir, showing just how dramatic water levels have dropped between 2015 and 2022. One of 3 reservoirs that provide more than half of Nuevo Leon's water supply.
Droughts and intense droughts and drying trends are all very consistent with what we expect with the kind of climate change.
The National Water Commission of Mexico has formally declared a state of emergency across the country, pushing officials to clamp down on water use.
Al día de hoy, estamos viviendo un problema muy grave de falta de agua, de escasez de agua.
Now residents are only allowed to use water for 3 hours a day, a desperate move in the midst of extreme heat.
No llueve, no hay agua, no hay frutas.
The heat and lack of water now targeting livelihoods.
No hay trabajo para la gente del campo.
While others worry citizens aren't being prioritized. Protesters gathering outside factories like Heineken and Coca-Cola.
Se pongan en los zapatos de la gente que no tiene agua en las colonias que no tienen agua.
Demanding they reduce water use and redirect it to citizens.
El producto que ellos hacen no es de primera necesidad.
People being more proactive and aware of, what sustainable water use actually looks like in these regions is going to be, increasingly important especially as we move to a warmer and very likely drier world.
But for so many in Mexico, a warmer and drier world already a reality.
Aaron joins us now from Los Angeles. And Aaron, I want to go back to that map in your piece. It's showing the severe drought across North America. We see that there are a few dark red regions in the U.S., in particular the western part of the country. What